Hi everyone! For my project, I am exploring the writer and poet Maya Angelou and her contributions to American literature in the latter half of the 20th century. So in general overview, I'll start with her life influences, starting with the divorce of her parents, which forced her and her brother to move from California to Stamps, Arkansas to live with their grandmother, Annie Henderson. While there, she was introduced to many types of literatures and music. She would memorize works from County Cullen and Langston Hughes and other poets and recite them back to her grandmother. Unfortunately, she was also sexually assaulted at a young age. She would have her first and only child at 17 before starting her career in singing and dancing for clubs and movies. In the 60s, she started gravitating towards writing. I've put in a clip here from a PBS documentary that I think has a really good introduction of her life and works.
Everybody in the world uses words. The writer has to take these most known things and put them together in such a way that a reader says, I never thought of it that way before. My mother's boyfriend raped me. I was 7, so I stopped speaking for 5 years. In those 5 years, I read every book in the black school library. When I decided to speak, I had a lot to say.
Maya was a dancer. She sang, she was an actress.
I mean, she was a beautiful Giacometti sculpture.
Of course, she was a writer.
When I reached for the pen to write, I have to scrape it across those scars.
Maya was responsible for teaching me why I should know more about my roots. But I remember her being very angry. Very angry.
My mother taught me a love of justice, a love of doing what's right.
I know why the cage bird sings. It was a very important literary feat.
Cage Bird was really almost another Bible for me.
It was the opening for me to wanting to be a writer.
It was the first time I read something that resonated. It touched a very young, girlish part of me.
It reflected my own mother's life.
When I read it, I couldn't believe that she was free enough to talk about them.
I read those words and thought, somebody knows who I am.
She was big, and she had the voice of God.
Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling. I bear in the tide, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave, and so I rise. I rise. I rise.